The vast emptiness of space held countless secrets, but none more surprising than the small blue planet tucked away in an unremarkable corner of the Milky Way. Earth, a world deemed insignificant by the Galactic Confederation, was about to prove everyone wrong. Una Park stood at the large observation window of the Sol Orbital Station, her dark eyes scanning the endless starscape. Around her, holographic displays flickered with countless data streams, each showing reports from different global defense sectors. At 32, she was the youngest strategic coordinator in Earth's Unified Defense Command, a position she had earned through pure intellect and an uncanny ability to predict complex scenarios. The alien diplomatic reports were always the same: condescending, dismissive. They described humans as a primitive species with rudimentary technology, barely capable of understanding advanced interstellar communications. Most galactic civilizations considered humans little more than curious biological specimens, not a potential military threat. But Una knew different. She had spent years studying alien military strategies, developing unconventional approaches that challenged traditional warfare concepts. Her recent research focused on psychological adaptation and strategic unpredictability, something most alien races couldn't comprehend. A soft beep interrupted her thoughts. The holographic display shifted, showing a classified transmission from the Antarctic Research Facility. Dr. Kim, her primary technological research partner, had discovered something significant. The message was cryptic but promising. Quantum breakthrough. Adaptive neural network complete. Una smiled. Humans had always been exceptional at turning limitations into advantages. Where other species relied on established technological paradigms, humans invented, adapted, and transformed. Their greatest strength wasn't advanced weaponry or superior physical capabilities, but their remarkable capacity to learn and evolve rapidly. The station's artificial gravity hummed softly, a reminder of humanity's recent technological achievements. Just a decade ago, interplanetary travel seemed like a distant dream. Now they were preparing for potential galactic interactions, building defenses and developing strategies that would shock the Confederation. Her communication device vibrated. Another message, this time from global military headquarters. Satellite. Tracking had detected unusual movement in the outer solar system. Something was approaching, and it didn't match any known spacecraft design. Una's training kicked in. She began analyzing potential scenarios, her mind working like a complex computational system. Years of preparation, countless simulations, and an intrinsic understanding of human potential were about to be tested. The station around her buzzed with controlled tension. Technicians and military personnel moved with precision, their movements reflecting years of dedicated training. They weren't just soldiers or scientists. They were humanity's first line of defense against the unknown. Outside the window, stars continued their silent dance. But something was changing. The universe was about to learn that being overlooked didn't mean being weak. Una adjusted her communication headset and began issuing rapid, calculated instructions. Whatever was coming, humanity would be ready, not with brute force but with intelligence, adaptability, and an unbreakable spirit that no galactic civilization had ever truly understood. The first wave of potential conflict was approaching, and humanity would show the universe that being underestimated was their greatest strategic advantage. Her fingers moved across the holographic interface, activating global defense protocols. Satellites repositioned, communication networks synchronized, and military units around the world went into heightened alert status. In that moment, standing above the blue planet that had been consistently underestimated, Una Park represented something more than just a military strategist. She was a symbol of humanity's potential, a potential that was about to be unleashed in ways no one could predict. The first warning came as a distant shimmer in the outer solar system's monitoring grid. Jaewon Kim gripped the control panel of his experimental fighter, the muscles in his hands tense and ready. Around him, the compact cockpit hummed with advanced systems that represented humanity's most cutting-edge technology. Alien ships approached like dark shadows against the starlit background, The Confederation's invasion fleet wasn't trying to be subtle. Massive vessels stretched kilometers in length, their metallic surfaces reflecting cold, calculated destruction. They expected no resistance. They believed humans would surrender or be easily eliminated. They were wrong. J1's communication system crackled with reports from ground control. Massive ships were entering Earth's orbital zone, their weapon systems charging with an intensity that suggested complete annihilation was their only objective. Traditional military strategists would have recommended immediate evacuation or surrender, but humans were anything but traditional. Quantum Squadron, prepare defensive pattern Delta. J1's voice remained calm, almost eerily composed. His team of 12 fighters represented the most advanced combat unit humanity had ever assembled. Each pilot was connected through neural interfaces, their thoughts and reactions synchronized beyond normal human capabilities. The first alien energy weapons cut through space, brilliant purple streams of destructive power. Where other species would have scattered, the human squadron moved as a single fluid entity. They didn't just dodge, they anticipated, predicted, and counterattacked in ways the alien commanders couldn't comprehend. J1's fighter twisted, with impossible precision. His neural link allowed him to process information faster than any traditional pilot. The ship became an extension of his thoughts, moving not just with mechanical efficiency, but with human creativity and unpredictability. Target acquired, he muttered, his fingers dancing across multiple interface systems. The alien ships designed for straightforward combat suddenly found themselves facing an opponent who refused to follow expected battle protocols. Smaller human fighters darted between massive alien vessels like quantum insects, striking precisely where defensive systems were weakest. Each attack was calculated, each movement a complex mathematical equation of survival and strategic disruption. The battle wasn't just about firepower, it was about adaptability, about using limitations as strengths. Humans had smaller ships, less advanced technology, but they had something the aliens never expected, an unbreakable spirit of survival and innovation. Explosions blossomed in the silent vacuum of space. Alien commanders watched in disbelief as their perfectly planned invasion encountered resistance that defied all logical combat models. These weren't just fighters. They were living, thinking, evolving combat units. J1's squadron lost 3 fighters in the first hour, but they destroyed 2 massive alien capital ships in return, a trade no alien strategist would have considered possible. Each human loss was immediately analyzed, with surviving pilots adjusting their strategies in real time. Command, we're implementing quantum disruption protocol, J1 reported, his voice steady. The remaining fighters suddenly changed their attack patterns, moving in ways that seemed to break the fundamental rules of space combat. The alien invasion fleet, so confident in their superiority, began to falter. They had studied human technological capabilities and found them wanting. They hadn't considered human spirit, human adaptability, human determination. As the first wave of combat concluded, something became terrifyingly clear to the alien commanders. Humanity was not just another species to be conquered. They were a force that would reshape galactic understanding of warfare. J1's fighter returned to the orbital station, its systems scorched, but functional. He had just written a new chapter in human military history, a chapter that would be studied by civilizations across the galaxy for generations to come. The Antarctic Research Facility looked more like a hidden fortress than a scientific complex. Buried beneath layers of ice and advanced camouflage technology, it housed humanity's most brilliant minds. Dr. Hee-Soo Choi stood at the center of a massive circular laboratory, surrounded by holographic displays that danced with complex algorithms and alien technological fragments. Scattered across massive work tables were pieces of alien technology recovered from the recent space battle. Where other researchers might have been overwhelmed, Hee-Soo saw opportunity. Each fragment was a puzzle waiting to be solved, a technological secret waiting to be unlocked. Her team worked in perfect synchronization. Scientists from every corner of the globe had been brought together, united by a single purpose: to transform humanity's technological capabilities faster than anyone thought possible. The alien invasion had been a catalyst, and they were determined to turn potential defeat into unprecedented advancement. Neural interface connection at 78%, a young researcher called out. The experimental system they were developing was unlike anything in human history. By analyzing the captured alien communication networks, they were creating a revolutionary adaptive technology that could learn and modify itself in real time. Hisu's fingers moved across a holographic interface, her movements precise and calculated. She wasn't just studying alien technology, she was reimagining it. Where the original designers saw fixed systems, she saw flexible potential. Each alien component was being stripped down, understood, and then reconstructed with human creativity. So, facility's temperature-controlled environment hummed with energy. Advanced cooling systems kept massive quantum processors running at peak efficiency. Outside, the Antarctic landscape remained unchanged, a perfect cover for the most important technological revolution in human history. A breakthrough came unexpectedly. One of the alien communication devices, thought to be a simple data transmission system, revealed a complex quantum entanglement network. Most researchers would have spent years studying it. Hisu's team decoded its fundamental principles within hours. "We're not just copying," she explained to her core research group. "We're understanding and then reimagining. Alien technology is a language, and we're learning to speak it fluently." The military was watching closely. Each technological advancement meant a potential advantage in the ongoing conflict. Neural adaptive combat systems, quantum communication, networks, adaptive AI algorithms, these were no longer science fiction. They were becoming reality at an impossible speed. Global defense networks began integrating the new technologies. Satellites that once took months to develop were now being designed and launched within weeks. Communication systems became more secure, more adaptive, more intelligent. The entire human technological infrastructure was transforming. Researchers worked in shifts that blended into each other. Sleep became optional. Caffeine and advanced stimulation technologies kept minds sharp and focused. They weren't just working for themselves or their countries anymore. They were working for the survival of their entire species. One particularly exciting development came from an unexpected source. By studying alien energy transmission technologies, they discovered a way to create more efficient power systems. What the aliens used for weapons, humans would use for sustainable energy, medical advancements, and space exploration. Hisu rarely slept. Her quarters were filled with holographic models and experimental prototypes. Each day brought a new discovery, a new possibility. The alien invasion had been intended to destroy humanity. Instead, it had awakened something far more powerful: human innovation. Global communication networks began sharing discoveries in real time. A researcher in Tokyo could immediately collaborate with a team in Brazil, their work synchronized through advanced quantum communication systems. Geographical boundaries became meaningless in the face of collective human potential. As weeks passed, the technological gap between humans and the alien confederation began to narrow, and then slowly, to reverse. What had started as a defensive strategy was becoming an offensive revolution. The facility's main display showed a countdown, not to destruction, but to the first full-scale test of their most ambitious project yet, a completely adaptive combat and communication system that could learn and modify itself faster than any known technological entity. Hisu looked at her team. They weren't just scientists anymore. They were architects of humanity's future, and that future was looking brighter with each passing moment. The Outer Rim battle sector burned with silent intensity. Commander Jinho Park stood on the bridge of the UHS Defiance, humanity's most advanced battleship. Around him, neural networks pulsed with living energy, connecting every system, every soldier into a single, adaptive consciousness. Alien fleets surrounded them, massive ships that had previously dominated galactic conflicts. But something was different this time. The human vessels moved like living organisms, each ship an extension of its crew's collective intelligence. Quantum synchronization at 92%, reported the ship's primary neural interface specialist. The how words meant more than just a technical measurement. They represented humanity's greatest technological breakthrough. Each human soldier was now more than an individual. They were part of a complex, thinking network. Thoughts moved faster than traditional communication. Strategy adapted in microseconds. Where alien commanders relied on preset battle protocols, humans created new tactics with every passing moment. The Defiance's weapon systems hummed with potential. They weren't just technological marvels. They were living, learning systems that could predict and counter alien attack patterns before they even happened. Captured alien technology had been transformed, reimagined through human creativity. Jinho's eyes scanned multiple holographic displays. Each showed a different perspective of the unfolding battle. Alien ships that once seemed invincible now looked almost primitive. Their predictable movement patterns were completely exposed by human adaptive technologies. Implementing quantum disruption sequence, Jinho commanded. His voice was calm, almost casual. Around him, the bridge crew moved with a synchronization that seemed almost supernatural. They weren't just fighting. They were solving a complex living puzzle. Smaller human fighters darted between massive alien vessels. They moved not with mechanical precision, but with an organic unpredictability that confused alien targeting systems. Each movement was a calculated risk, each attack a demonstration of human innovation. The battle wasn't just about firepower, it was about understanding, adapting, transforming. Humans had turned their previous technological limitations into their greatest strength. Where other species saw fixed systems, humans saw potential for constant evolution. Alien communication. Channels became increasingly desperate. Their perfect invasion plan was falling apart. Massive battleships that had conquered hundreds of civilizations were being systematically dismantled by smaller, more adaptive human vessels. Secondary neural network engaging, another crew member reported. The ship's systems began to predict alien movements before their commanders could even conceive them. It was like watching a complex chess match where one player could see 10 moves ahead. Explosions blossomed in the silent vacuum of space. But these weren't random destruction. Each blast was a carefully calculated strategic move. Alien ships found themselves caught in complex battle scenarios they couldn't comprehend or escape. The neural connection between human soldiers went beyond traditional communication. They thought as one, moved as one, fought as one. Individual limitations disappeared, replaced by collective intelligence that grew stronger with each passing moment. Jinho watched as the alien fleet began to break formation. What had started as a confident invasion was now becoming a desperate retreat. They had underestimated humanity's capacity for innovation, for adaptation, for survival. Quantum compression field activated. Someone called out. Another alien capital. Ship suddenly found its systems completely paralyzed. Its technological defenses turned against itself. It was a level of technological warfare no galactic civilization had ever witnessed. As hours passed, the battle transformed from a potential human defeat to a defining moment in galactic history. The alien confederation was learning a brutal lesson. Technological superiority meant nothing against a species capable of constant, rapid evolution. The UHS Defiance moved through the battle sector like a living predator. Each movement was precise, each decision instantaneous. The ship was more than a weapon. It was a statement about human potential. When the battle finally concluded, something had fundamentally changed. The galaxy would never look at humanity the same way again. What had begun as an invasion had become a turning point, not just in a war, but in the understanding of technological and strategic potential. The Galactic Council chamber was silent. Representatives from 100 different civilizations sat, frozen, their exotic forms reflecting a mixture of fear, respect, and disbelief. At the center stood Una Park, the woman who had transformed humanity's destiny. Earth had changed. No longer a small, overlooked planet, it was now the most significant, strategic location in the known universe. The massive holographic display behind Una showed humanity's technological achievements. Achievements that had completely rewritten galactic understanding of potential. "We are not asking for permission," Una stated, her voice calm and clear. "We are presenting our new reality." Her words carried a weight that transcended traditional diplomatic language. Each alien representative understood the underlying message. Humanity was no longer a species to be controlled or dismissed. The battle records spoke for themselves. Entire alien invasion fleets had been systematically dismantled by human forces, not through superior firepower, but through unprecedented adaptive intelligence. Human technology had evolved faster in 5 years than most civilizations had in centuries. Representatives from the Quantum Confederation shifted uncomfortably. Their most advanced military strategists had been completely outmaneuvered by human tactics. What they considered impossible had become routine for human forces. Una's presentation moved through holographic displays showing technological transformations. Captured alien systems had been not just understood, but completely reimagined. Energy transmission technologies, quantum communication networks, adaptive combat systems, all had been revolutionized through human creativity. "We are offering collaboration," she continued, "not submission." The distinction was important. Humans weren't seeking alien approval. They were presenting themselves as equals, potentially even superior partners in technological development. Behind her, recordings played of human achievements, massive space stations constructed in months, planetary defense systems that could adapt faster than any known technological network, medical breakthroughs derived from alien technologies that could cure diseases across multiple species. The Galactic Council's oldest members looked troubled. Their centuries of established power, structures were being challenged by a species they had previously considered primitive. Humanity had done in years what most civilizations took millennia to achieve. Global human representatives sat quietly, their confidence radiating through the chamber. They weren't just presenting technological achievements. They were demonstrating a fundamental approach to existence, constant adaptation, relentless innovation, unbounded potential. Diplomatic protocols were being rewritten in real time. Humanity wasn't requesting a seat at the table. They were redesigning the entire table. Trade agreements, technological exchanges, strategic partnerships. Everything would be different now. The most surprising element wasn't the technological achievements. It was the human approach. Where other civilizations saw fixed systems, humans saw opportunities. Where others saw limitations, humans saw potential for transformation. Alien ambassadors reviewed massive data files showing human developments. Neural adaptive systems that could learn faster than any known artificial intelligence. Communication networks that could predict and prevent conflicts before they began. Medical technologies that could heal across species boundaries. Una's final presentation slide showed something unexpected. It wasn't a weapon or a technological marvel. It was a simple image of Earth, a blue planet that had been underestimated for generations. The message was clear. Never judge potential by initial appearances. "We are not conquerors," Una said, her final statement echoing through translation systems. "We are partners. We are innovators. We are humanity." The Galactic Council remained silent, but everyone understood. Everything had changed. The universe would never be the same again. As representatives began discussions, one thing became absolutely clear. Humanity had arrived, not as a new species, but as a fundamental force that would reshape galactic civilization.